one of those reptiles was returned early this evening anonymously, and here she is, the Savannah monitor lizard. Her name is Zuzu. When President Obama wrapped up his speech to the American people, these Democrats walked out of this room wiping tears away from their eyes. The neighborhood is taped off. Police exchanged fire with the suspect behind one of these homes. Police arrived here at this apartment complex about an hour ago. I've got hand warmers, this big sweater, and I think I need to be quiet because my friend Mikey over here is sleeping. We are right next to the cotton candy and corn dog booth. Yummy, you can just smell the goodness. Homicide investigators are behind the yellow tape, gathering evidence and questioning witnesses. Here she is, the Savannah monitor lizard. Her name is Zuzu. She's resting right now. A doctor still needs to check her, and 3 reptiles are still missing. Here is the skin of one of the snakes, 7 feet tall. This thing is huge, and it is still out there. Police are looking for it. Now take a look at the reptile room. It is a mess. Glass everywhere. These tanks shattered. Thousands of dollars in damages, and the whole thing caught on camera. He looks around for cameras, but the thief seems to have no idea that Fresno's Discovery Center has surveillance equipment everywhere.
He came from the other side of the property, came all the way on this side, looked in the windows, disappeared for a minute, found a cinder block.
He hurls a cinder block through the glass window and heads for the reptile room. He grabs a boa constrictor and 2 pythons and tosses them, mortal enemies, into the same bag.
They had a jungle environment in their tank, and they were wrapped around their trees and vines.
Take a close look at how he yanks out a 4-foot lizard and stuffs it into a trash can, then pulls out a computer monitor from the desk and shoves it on top of the lizard.
It was very painful to watch the way he pulled the animals out. We're looking for blood.
The reptiles are all rescues. Kids love to spend time with them after school, including Leah Sharias, but we didn't find her petting the animals. We spotted her in a police car.
They asked me to get in their car for a second. They drive me across my house where he lived.
She recognized the burglar in surveillance video. She says he plays football with neighborhood kids just down the street from the Discovery Center. Police staked out the spot early Thursday evening after receiving reports that the thief was letting kids play with the reptiles. Specialists say they can be dangerous, especially if turned loose.
I wouldn't mess with them, especially if you don't know what they are.
Gruesome is exactly how the DA describes this case. We're talking about a man who cut out his co-worker's heart, stuffed it in his pocket, and tonight there's still a fear that he may be freed from prison. Kenneth Carlock is pictured here on his 25th birthday, but he didn't live to celebrate his 26th.
And I had to go outside and just scream, "No, God, no. How could somebody do that?"
Carlock's sister, Gail, found his mutilated body in his North Marks Avenue apartment, stabbed 64 times, his heart cut out.
How could you do that? How could you cut out another human being's heart, you know?
The killer, a co-worker, 23-year-old Theodore Allen Lalo Jr. Lalo was arrested with Carlock's heart in his jacket pocket the day after the murder. That night, June 5th, 1984, Gail made a silent promise.
I vowed to my brother that night when I found out he'd killed him, that I would fight him till I don't have no breath left.
She's been fighting her brother's killer for the last 28 years, the only way she could in parole hearings.
I battled him for so long, and he, every parole hearing, he sits there and tells him, "I got a certificate in this program, I got a certificate in that program." And
last October, he was granted parole, but last week, Governor Jerry Brown denied that parole after Fresno County District Attorney Elizabeth Egan stepped in.
We wrote a letter to the governor saying, "Please, Governor, do not release this person. We feel he is still a danger to the public." And of course, the family feels the same way. And they also wrote to the governor, and the governor heard.
In a few months, Lalo will go back for an appeal hearing, and those tormented keep asking that he remain behind bars.
Would you want this animal, barbaric monster in your neighborhood? Seriously? Do you really believe that somebody like that could be rehabilitated?
And hard to believe, but the DA is currently working many more parole cases similar to this one. Live in downtown Fresno tonight, Lemor Abrams, CBS 47 on your side. He believes his paperwork proving he was in combat was overlooked, and after years of going back and forth with Veteran Services, he finally got through to a local congressman. Victory at sea. America's naval might was the tip of the spear as Allied forces conquered Axis powers in the war that would decide the future of the free world, World War II. And a Valley man was at the center of it all.
Well, it was a real experience for an 18-year-old, you know.
Lloyd was assigned to the armed guard, protecting the merchant vessels that provided the lifeblood of U.S. forces waging a brutal ground war.
We were the Navy gunners on merchant ships. There were 30 men on there. We manned 10 guns.
But 70 years after Lloyd helped defeat firmly entrenched Japanese forces in the pivotal Battle of Okinawa, he still hasn't received credit for the battles he was in.
They never had a record of me being in combat at all. And I sent stuff to the archives, and you get it back and we look into it. Well, by the time they look into it, it's another 4 or 5 months. Pretty soon, you get tired.
Veterans Administration in Fresno suggested Lloyd contact Congressman David Valadao. His daughter wrote the letter, citing proof of combat, diaries and pictures of Seaman First Class Lloyd Steinauer with his armed guard crew.
I have seen these amazing military funeral services they give to these veterans that have passed. And I think that they need to have these proud ceremonies while they're alive.
Her dad will soon have that opportunity.
They had received my medals. And I says, I can't believe it.
Lloyd will receive 7 World War II medals, including a Victory Medal and an American Campaign Medal.
This is what you call a victory ship?
Mm-hmm.
Now he's celebrating a new victory.
And I didn't expect it this quick. So I'm very happy about that.
Receive his military medals at a special ceremony tomorrow afternoon, 2 p.m. at Congressman David Valadao's office in Hanford. The public is welcome to join. Congressman Valadao will present the medals personally, medals Lloyd proudly earned serving his country. Live in the newsroom, Lemor Abrams, CBS 47 on your side. Crews here are still digging deep into the ground to try to stop the flow of gas behind me. This is one of the main holes. They've been working on it for the last couple of hours, and it's where they're doing most of the repairs, but they expect to repair the break by 7 or 8, and at that point they'll reopen a section of Shaw Avenue, and they'll continue to monitor dangerous gas particles all night long. The beeping sound indicates this small sensor is reading gas particles, but levels aren't hazardous.
2% natural gas to 5% natural gas is when an explosion would occur.
PG&E workers continue to monitor the flow of gas above ground after a contractor punctured an underground steel gas line early Friday morning.
Our understanding is that he was doing work for AT&T.
PG&E says the contractor from Sacramento was drilling with an expired permit and will pay for damages. They include costs to city and businesses along Shaw Avenue that were forced to evacuate.
Most of the staff that's here now are mainly inside workers, so today we're just trying to get out, drive our properties, see what we could be productive on the outside in the field.
Fresno fire investigators say the contractor may face charges, but it's unlikely they'll be criminal.
We put a lot of resources into making sure that we widen the evacuation zone.
Again, repairs here on Shaw Avenue expected to last all night long and into Saturday morning, so expect that for your commute. Live in Fresno tonight, Lemor Abrams, CBS 47 on your side.